Solving a rational equation with an extraneous solution. These are the steps in solving rational equation with extraneous solution. Step 1, find the least common denominator. Step 2, multiply the least common denominator in each sides of the equation. And step 3, simplify and solve for the value of your solution. Example, solve 6 all over x minus 3 equals 8x squared over x squared minus 9 minus 4x over x plus 3. After writing down the given, we proceed with step number 1, finding our LCD. To find the least common denominator, let's write all the denominators that can be found in the given rational equation. We have x minus 3, x squared minus 9, and x plus 3. And then we factor this out if possible. X minus 3 cannot be factored out anymore, so we write x minus 3. This is an example of quadratic term, so we do have factors. Factors of x squared are x and x, and factors of 9 that will give us 0 when we add or subtract them is 3 and 3. One should be positive and the other one will be negative, because negative 3 times positive 3 is negative 9. Positive 3 plus negative 3 is 0. That's why we don't have any middle term here. X plus 3 cannot be factored out anymore. Let's write x plus 3. Next, we identify common factors. We have 3, x minus 3 are common, x plus 3 and x plus 3 are common. So let's divide one of the common factors out. Remove this and this. And then we get the product, x plus 3 times x minus 3. And this is now our least common denominator. Step 2, we need to multiply our LCD with each sides of our given rational equation. We have 6 over x minus 3. We also multiply our LCD with the other side of the equation. We have 8x over x squared minus 9 minus 4x all over x plus 3. So apply distributive property of multiplication. Here we have x plus 3 times x minus 3 times x all over x minus 3 equals x plus 3 times x minus 3 times 8x squared all over. We can rewrite this into its factors. We have the factors of x squared minus 9 is x plus 3 times x minus 3 minus x plus 3 times x minus 3 times 4x all over x plus 3. Now we divide out those that are common, because x minus 3 divided by x minus 3 is equal to 1. These are common terms, x plus 3, x plus 3. Now we multiply. 6 times x plus 3 is 6 times x plus 3 equals, we have 8x squared minus 4x times x minus 3. We apply distributive property of multiplication here. 6 times x is equal to 6x. 6 times positive 3 is positive 18 equals 8x squared. Apply distributive property of multiplication. Negative 4x times x is negative 4x squared. Negative 4x times negative 3 is positive 12x. Now let's combine like terms if there is any. We do have 8x squared here and 4x squared, common terms, 6x and 12x. So let's write 6x plus 18 equals 8x squared minus 4x squared is 4x squared plus 12x. Combine this by subtracting 6x to both sides of the equation. 6 minus 6 is 0 all over 18 equals, bring down 4x squared. 12 minus 6 is positive 6x. And then we subtract both sides of the equation by 18. I did not align them because they are not like terms. 18 minus 18 is equal to 0. 4x squared plus 6x minus 18. We can simplify this or reduce it into its lowest term by dividing each of our numerical equation or numerical coefficients by 2. So we have 4 divided by 2 is 2x squared, 6 divided by 2 is 3x, and 18 divided by 2, 9. Now we do have a quadratic equation here, which means we have two values of solutions. Let's have a short trick on how to factor this out, because as you can see, your numerical coefficient here is greater than 1. So what will we do here is to multiply 2 by negative 9 first. So that is equal to negative 18. Write negative 18 here. And then copy the rest of the terms, but get rid of 2. X squared plus 3x equals 0. Now let's factor this out. Factors of x squared is x and x. Factors of 18 that will give us 3 when we add or subtract them is 6 and 3. This should be positive and the other one will be negative. And then we divide our second terms by 2. We got 2 from the numerical coefficient of x squared. And then we simplify. 6 divided by 2 is 3. This cannot be simplified anymore, so we move 2 before x. We write 2x minus 3 equals 0. And these are now our factors. So let's copy this. We have x plus 3 and 2x minus 3. After we identify the factors, we equate them to 0 to solve for our solution. We have x plus 3 equals 0 and 2x minus 3 equals 0. Subtract 3 to both sides of the equation. This is equal to 0. X is equal to negative 3. This is now our first solution. Add 3 to both sides of the equation. 2x is equal to 3. And then we divide 2 to both sides. X is equal to 3 over 2. And this is now the value of our second solution. Now let's check whether our solutions are correct or not. Our first solution is x is equal to negative 3. We will just plug this in with the original given equation. We have 6 over negative 3 minus 3 equals 8 times negative 3 squared, all over negative 3 squared minus 9. Plug this in. This will become negative 3 plus 3. And then we simplify. You can use calculators to simplify, or you can do it manually. So 6 all over negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6 equals 8 times negative 3 squared is 9. Negative 3 squared is 9 minus 9 minus negative 12. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. This is equal to 0. Negative 6 divided by negative 6 is equal to negative 1 equals 9 times 8 is 72 over 9 minus 9, 0, plus 12 over 0. Since we do have undefined terms here, that means this is not a solution. Not a solution. So this is an example of extraneous solution. Now let's check whether the second value of our solution is a solution or not. 3 over 2. Plug this into the original equation. We have 6 over 3 over 2 minus 3 equals 8 times 3 over 2 square, all over 3 over 2 square minus 9, minus 4 times 3 over 2, 3 over 2 plus 3. You can use calculators later on to solve for these fractions, or you can do it manually. So we have 6 over subtract it, that's equal to negative 3 over 2 equals, simplify, we have 18, subtract, we have negative 27 over 4 minus, multiply this is equal to 6, add that is equal to 9 over 2. If you divide this, 6 divided by negative 3 halves is negative 4 equals, divide it, negative 8 over 3 minus, divide 4 over 3. Negative 4 is equal to, you subtract it, that's equal to negative 4. Since they are equal, that means x squared is a solution.